I'm here to make a personal video, a small, just something short personal video. I have just some demons that need to be slayed, and my expression in love for my master teacher is explained through actions and the knowledge and wisdom that I have received from Master Teacher is divine and a blessing. I am grateful. I am very grateful. To the chosen out there, the beings that are supposed to get out and get out of Babylon and go plug back into nature and plug back into Mama. Do not let anything, any entity, any reflection of self stop oneself from exceeding the obstacle and getting to where one is destined to be, whereas one is supposed to be. Astrologically, everything's written in the stars, so nothing will stop you if you are chosen and you are meant to be. But one might feel as if they are second guessing, as 1 foot in, 1 foot out. There have been demons that have come here to stop the chosen from reaching their higher self, to stop the chosen from connecting back into nature, to getting back to their natural environment. These beings do not know themselves. These beings do not know thyself. These beings are operating on fear and confusion. And the devil is in the details. The devil lives by confusion. These beings will mislead you. They will spit fire of false evidence appearing real. This is fear, false evidence appearing real. And they will try to block the way for the chosen. They will try to block the way for some. But no weapons formed against me shall prosper. No entity, no low vibrational being shall stop or block the righteous path that one is taking, that one is going to reach to the higher self, to nature, to Mama. Some beings say that the Etherians here are misguided, misled, acting out of fear. We are all one, but astrologically, I have my own conscious. I am conscious. Astrologically, I am operating on my higher self. I'm smart. I know when to get in, when to get out, what to tap into, what not to tap into. My consciousness is very sharp. Astrologically, I'm very sharp. My communicative skills, I'm a Virgo. I have Mercury in Virgo. I'm analytical. I listen to the details. I focus on the details. I structure and order, and off a higher consciousness too, as I might add. Some beings have this, but they are vibrating at a low frequency, so that will be used in Babylon for a negative, lower self. But one has their own mind. One is not controlled. One was not controlled by any other being. One was taught. One was given structure and order. One was given divine wisdom. One was given the ability to reflect and express one's light. One was given the opportunity to know thyself and connect back to the source, connect back to nature, to be one. Everything in Babylon has structure and order on a low frequency. You have beings that are hierarchy in one's so-called Babylon job that tell one what to do, that says do this, do that. And if one does not do that, then one will get spoken to and brought back into this order and structure of this synthetic environment, this Babylon environment that is slaving one from day to day to work and to pay for resources that are free, to pay to live one in harmony with mom, or to pay to get resources from mama. It does not cost anything for one to get in harmony and get back in tune with mama. If one works for the higher self, if one works for mama, this costs nothing. And it should not cost anything. We were born, we came in through this portal, free, detached, but interdependent. If one removes money from this fake synthetic environment, what is left? Relationships, frequencies. Whatever frequency one is on taps into the relationship in order to get one being from one place to another, consciously, physically, however that relationship works, intercourse. So we have beings that come and say low vibrational things, demons that are confused, don't know thyself, and are basing and running their life off fear. These are dangerous beings. These beings do not know themselves. These beings are unconscious. These beings will distract and be obstacles. But these beings are also a blessing, because anyone that taps into that frequency and vibrates at that fear does not deserve to be and enter the kingdom of heaven, does not deserve to be in tune one with nature. One can tell and know a demon by the way that demons act. Demons focus more on the messenger rather than the message. We broadcast every day messages, divine consciousness, to help humanity, to raise consciousness, to get people out of the lower self, to get beings out of the lower self, and get beings to stop operating on fear and to walk out on faith, and to be come back in tune with mama. Then we get beings that are fearful and not operating on the higher self, not on the same frequency. So they come, they go, they get cast back out into Babylon. Then, based off their low frequency unconsciousness of thyself and what reality is, these beings form opinions, unconscious opinions, low frequency opinions that have nothing to do with the higher self, the Christ conscious, the times of change and what is coming, the nothing. We are here to raise the conscious, to give divine blessings and messages to people to apply, to the chosen, for the chosen to apply to their life, and then walk out on faith and become their higher self, to be the change, to live the change, to live, to be living. People in Babylon are not living, they're surviving. This is not how nature works. This is not how it was meant to be. Duality exists for a reason. But there are beings there that are conscious, that need to get out of Babylon. If one is conscious and they do not get out of Babylon, they will live in purgatory, trapped on the other side, knowing the truth, but will not be allowed to get out. The time is now. The doors are open, the gates are open, the conscious information is out there, the reprogramming and constructing of the mind and death of old self. Death of old self is upon, and one must pick up their cross and walk the narrow path. But one must see a demon from miles away to spot the entities out there that are holding the chosen back. Master Teacher has given this divine wisdom. He has blessed this divine wisdom. Most false preachers and false prophets out there will charge for what is free. False prophets that sell sell mama, false prophets that sell the truth, the information. Master Teacher has given this for free. Master Teacher has provided the way. And all roads lead to the source. Whether it's this cycle or the next cycle, one will have to come here. One can focus on the messenger. One can say, ooh, I don't like this. Ooh, I don't like that. One can say this. And this is a blessing, because beings that operate on those frequencies will be demons. And those are the beings that are not supposed to be here. Those are the beings that cannot be here. But for the chosen that hear the message, for the chosen that are on this frequency and may have a confusion of fear, cast those demons. I'm here to cast those demons out. The beings that you've heard things from, I have my own mind. Etherians here have their own mind. No one is controlled. We are controlled in order and structure, in a sense of getting in tune in the laws of nature and how things are supposed to be. Just as in Babylon, one is controlled to think that they have to work, think that they think that one has to do this and do that, and then give this paper to get that paper exchanged in order to own this or own that, when really nothing is owned in Babylon by one's being. The banks own everything. Food that grows free from the trees is sold, when this is not how it's supposed to be. Beings are being misled through false advertising, through lack of understanding, through these devils that do not understand thyself. The Etherians are here to bring the message to consciousness, so one will know thyself, and one will not be blocked by these demons. One will not be stopped. One will walk the righteous path. One will pick up their cross. One will ascend to the higher self. One will make it. When one was in Babylon, every day one was online, listening to Master Teacher Nature Boy, getting the truth. Any fragments of truth and wisdom, I was a truth seeker. Nothing would stop me. I was always going to find the truth. I was online every day, programming my subconscious, falling asleep at night to videos, programming my subconscious, manifesting into reality, taking the message and applying it to life. This is what the chosen needs to do. And if any demons came along saying negative, one did not focus on that. One was focused purely on the path. One heard the truth, one heard the calling, and one just focused on the path, focused on the truth. Any great being that's ever gone out and done and said anything that was true, that has done anything that was for a good cause, has been cast out, has been crucified by beings that do not know thyself, by beings that vibrate at a low frequency. There will be beings that will come and test, will be tests, and will be cast upon and cast back out into Babylon because they were not vibrating at the high frequency. This is inevitable. Not all beings that come along are going to be on the same frequency. Not all beings that are not on the same frequency that have come along are going to be, I wasn't on the frequency, so everything's okay, and I'm just not going to say anything. There will be beings that will say something. There will be beings that will be negative and vibrating at such a low frequency that they have to send negative signals out to feel better about oneself, or to do whatever that demon needs to do in order to to be able to do whatever. One doesn't even vibrate on that frequency, so one can't conceptualize or understand that being, because the truth was given right in front of one being. The truth was given right in front of one's eyes, and they still have little understanding of this reality and who thyself is. Was online every day, subjecting oneself to this knowledge, knowing the truth. Then one manifested themselves to the tropics, One was reluctant enough to come to Master Teacher and be accepted by Master Teacher. When one came here, one did not know that one was going to end up with the Ethereans, with Melanation, with Master Teacher Nature Boy. One had $40 in his pocket. One did not have the setup. One was walking out on faith. One was walking out on faith and had abundance of faith, but one did not have everything set up. One did not have everything, this is how it's going to be, because that's not how Mama works. Mama wants one to walk out on faith. Mama wants one to have faith in her and believe, because this is how one receives the abundance and blessings. If one tries to order and structure and tries to create a plan, Mama will laugh, and then Mama will come from the left with a completely different route, ending, but it will, lead to the source. But it will not be how one thought it would be. To enter the kingdom of heaven, one must empty the cup. One must step out on faith and have an abundance and believe. Have the faith of a mustard seed. One must know thyself, or becoming one with knowing thyself and tapping in tune with nature. When beings come along and they don't have conceptual ideas of who thy is, and are not following the teachings, and are not on the frequency, one will be cast back out into Babylon, because one was not vibrating at the frequency that one needed to be on. Work needs to be done as one is positioning thyself to leave and come into the kingdom of heaven. Work has to be done here. Work has to be done here. One must become humble. One cannot lie to Mama. One cannot lie to the higher self. So when one comes along and isn't pure of heart and isn't striving to do the right thing, one will be demon, and one will be cast back out, because one was not pure of heart. One was not the right frequency. So if one goes back to Babylon, one's in Babylon, and one goes to try to work at a job, but one does not have any knowledge of the job that one is trying to work at, the job that one is trying to go apply for, one will be cast back out to look for another job, because one was not qualified. One did not have the knowledge. One was not conscious of what one needed to do in this job. This is the same thing that happens with frequency and beings that are coming to the higher consciousness. The chosen are the ones that will be here. If one is not chosen, one cannot be here. One will not be here. One cannot thrive. One will not live. One will get sick. Mama will cast this being back out because one was not pure. All one has received here is love. Master Teacher has given abundance of love, structure, order, has helped one's mind raise to the highest consciousness and higher consciousness, and opens one's mind to new ideas and new beginnings, because there is no end and there is no beginning. One has only received love and understanding. Love is understanding. When one does not understand thyself, one cannot understand others, so one cannot love. One cannot truly love. Love is an action more than it is a word. One is thankful and grateful for Master Teacher. But one operates on one's own mind. One has its own mind. One has its own being, consciousness, astrological consciousness. One is not a puppet. One's being given knowledge and applying it to life. One is following the teachings. One is on the frequency. One is becoming divine and growing, making room for growth. When one does not make room for growth, when one does not make room for the order and structure and the laws of Mama, deprogramming Babylon, then one will not operate on the frequency, and one will not be here. So to the chosen out there, any beings that have heard anything of faults, focus on the message rather than the messenger. The message cannot be denied. The message cannot be torn down. Anyone that's not on a frequency that someone else is on can point out something about that being on that frequency. Can point out something about the messenger. That's easy. But what about the message? What about applying knowledge, wisdom, and truth to life? What about getting out of Babylon? What about getting out of the simulated environment? What about the poisons that are in one's water? What about the poisons that are in the sky? What about everything that's wrong with one's environment? What about the knowledge? Do not get distracted by these low vibrational beings. Do not get distracted by these demons. Slay these demons. If one has any negative thoughts, listen, watch this. Slay them in the mind. One must realize these are reflections of self, obstacles one must get over. They come in all forms, all shapes. Just as the message comes in, Etherians bring the message in all ways, so that if some being does not like the way this messenger is bringing this knowledge, or saying this knowledge, there's another messenger from the Etherians that's bringing it in art form. There's another messenger bringing this in music, rap form. There's another messenger bringing this in articulating it in another vocal form. There's another messenger that's bringing this in another art form. There's many beings, Etherians, that are giving this divine wisdom, this divine message to raise one to the higher self-consciousness. Many forms of light being reflected here, so that one cannot be denied by the truth. One cannot be denied by the truth. The truth shall survive. The truth does not need defending. But demons will be slayed. Demons will not live here. Demons will not live here. Demons will not live in this realm, in this frequency, this reality. Demons will not live. So to the chosen I say, stay on the righteous path. Stay focused. Stay pure of heart. Stay divine. Only subject oneself to high frequency consciousness, divine wisdom and knowledge. Program the subconscious. Manifest oneself out of Babylon. The time is now. The gates will close, and if one is on this consciousness and is on the other side, they will live in purgatory until the next cycle. It is important that these beings get out. I love myself, so one can reflect this and shine this light to all the beings out there. Stay focused. Stay humble. Stay on the righteous path. I love myself.